All right, so when you have these similar triangles, the angles are congruent and the sides are proportional. So given that all three of these triangles are similar, we know the angles are congruent. So this angle here is congruent to this angle here, is congruent to this angle here, A. We have B prime is congruent to B, is congruent to B double prime, and we also know that C prime is congruent to C, is congruent to C double prime. But what's also worth noting is that these sides are proportional. So here we have 10, or we have 8, 10, and 16, 8, 10, 16. Then all you do is divide each of those by 2, and you get 4, 5, and 8. And divide those by 2 again, and you get 2, 2.5, and 4. So you can see that the corresponding sides are proportional. The properties of proportions. So given that these two triangles are similar, by definition, the sides are proportional. So A is to B is to C, as P is to Q is to R. This means the following are true statements by the properties of proportions. A over P equals B over Q, which when you cross multiply becomes A times Q equals B times P. A over P equals C over R. When you cross multiply, that becomes A times R equals C times P. And B over Q equals C over R, or BR equals CQ. All right, so here are two similar triangles with the measures of the sides listed. So by definition of similar triangles, 4 is to 6 is to 8 equals 6 is to 9 is to 12. So we can say that 4 over 6 equals 6 over 9. We can also write 4 over 8 equals 6 over 12. We also know that 6 over 9 equals 8 over 12. So these are all the proportions we can set up. And by the properties of proportions, we can switch some of these numbers around. We can swap them out. So 4 over 6 equals 6 over 9 can also be written as 4 over 6 equals 6 over 9. So we've swapped these two 6's, which is not very obvious in this case, but if we move over, 4 over 6 equals 8 over 12, you can swap this 8 and this 6, and that becomes 4 over 8 equals 6 over 12. And here, 6 over 9 equals 8 over 12. Swap those two, we get 6 over 8 equals 9 over 12. And you can go on and cross multiply them out. So if we have these two similar triangles, the properties of proportions give us A over P equals B over Q, like that. So this side over this side equals this side over this side. Here we have A over P, so this side over this side equals C over R, or this side over this side. And here we have B over Q equals C over R, equals C over R. And you can cross multiply them. There's different ways to write all of these out. Given that A, B, P, and Q are positive real numbers, here are the properties of proportions. A over P equals B over Q implies that A over B equals P over Q, and A times Q equals B times P. You could also, instead of writing implies, you can use the double arrow like this, and that shows that these three equations are mathematically equivalent. Because there are so many sides involved when creating proportions, you may find it helpful to arrange values from smallest to largest, where A is less than B is less than P is less than Q, or A is less than P is less than B is less than Q. All right, given that these triangles are similar, let's do some true or false problems. True or false? 4 is to 5 is to 7. 4 is to 5 is to 7 equals 8 to x to y. 8x, y. As you can see, these do go around in the same order, so the sides are all corresponding, so this is true. All right, moving on. 4 over 8, so this bottom side over this bottom side equals 7 over y, equals this side over this side. So yes, this is also true. All right, true or false? 5 over 7, so this side over this side corresponds with this side over this side, x over y. Oh, but look, this is y over x. So this is wrong. This should be x over y. So this is false. All right, 4x. So we have this side times this side equals this side times this side. And that is true. So we have the bottom side times the left side equals the bottom side times the left side. So this is true. All right. 4 times y, so 4 times y, the bottom side times the top side equals 8 times x. So bottom times top equals bottom 8 times top 7. Oh, look, this says x. This should be 8 times 7. So this is false because we see here it's 4 times y equals 8 times x. So yeah, these sides do not correspond to x and y. All right, moving on, we have, all right, so here are some values. So as we can see, we have 5, 7, and 4 here. We have two values for the bottom side, 4 and 8, and that gives us the proportion. Basically what that means now is that we can take these numbers, multiply them by 2, and figure out their corresponding sides. So we have 4 times 2 gives us 8, 5 times 2 gives us 10, and 7 times 2 gives us 14. So in this case, x equals 10, y equals 14. This is true.